Hi, guys. It's HAlan coming at you a little bit early before the episode starts to give some bad news. A member of our family is mourning the loss of their father right now. Kerri, as you may have heard in a past episode, was dealing with the passing of their father, and he has passed. And so Kerri won't be on this episode and won't be on the next episode either while she understandably is mourning and dealing with everything. I wanted to come on a little bit early because, when I lost my father, it was a special thing to come back to the podcast because this thing that Kerri and I created years ago, like we always say, we're just fans of the Golden Girls and we're just sharing our fandom of our love of the Golden Girls with you. And one of the things that I love about the Golden Girls is that it brings people together, and it brought all of us together in special ways. And so when I lost my father, it was hard, and I didn't really know how to come back and how to be a normal person again and do all the things. And so I leaned into the Golden Girls, and I leaned into this community, and this community really helped me process a really difficult time. It's helped me over the years in lots of different ways. And I know that Kerri will be experiencing the exact same things because I've been there, and you've probably been there as well. So I wanted to come on early and encourage all of you to send your love and your prayers, if that's what you believe, or your thoughts, to Kerri and her family and Stan right now, to wish them well and during this very, very difficult time, and to say that we love them very much, and that we as a community, as a golden community, will be here for them when Kerri decides that it's time for her to come back. But in this episode, we will have a guest co-host, someone you know very, very well. And Kerri will be back very soon. But I wanted just to tell you all that. She gave me permission to tell you this. And I wanted to encourage you to send your love to her and Stan right now. And let's get on with the episode. Picture it, Los Angeles, 2025. Yeah, that's the year we're in. Welcome to Out on the Lanai, the only Golden Girls podcast you're ever going to need to listen to. I am HAlanScott / Sadie Pines, and filling in for the impossible to fill shoes of Miss Kerri Doherty is my friend, obviously, and friend of the pod, and my best friend in the world, Eliot Glazer. Hello, Eliot.
Oh, it's so good to be back. Thank you so much for having me, and I feel so at home because I am, yes. But also everything Golden Girls is, that's my language.
That's who we are. That is what we do. That is the basis of our friendship. Maybe we'll talk, maybe you'll stick around for the Rusty Anchor happy hour, right? So maybe we'll talk a little bit about the origins of our Golden Girls friendship, because I don't think we've ever really fully discussed that.
Not really. No, we really haven't.
Yeah. No, so we'll do that on the Rusty Anchor happy hour, which of course you can get at patreon.com/Golden Girls podcast. And also we will be doing a Golden Girls watch along this weekend, Sunday, June 22nd at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll be doing that watch along, so you can go to the Patreon for that as well. But today, we are bringing you another Golden Rewind, where we go back and rewatch our favorite episodes of the Golden Girls and offer new insights since we first started breaking down these episodes way back in 2014. Oof. And I know, it's time for us. It's time for us to say we love yeah, while pondering if we're still sexy, because we just rewatched season 7, episode 16, The Commitments. Eliot Glazer. Wait, first off, I want to play a little clip from this episode because it requires, I feel like we're going to be doing this a lot this episode, so I'm going to play this real quick. Hold on.
She loves you, yeah. She loves you, yeah. She loves you, yeah.
I mean, absolutely bananas. This episode, I mean, we're obviously going to break down a lot of this episode, but I got me thinking, because this episode is bananas. And when I posed the question to you, what episode should we watch for today? You gave me a few options, but then you were like, this episode is crazy. We have to watch this one.
Yeah, I mean, I actually forgot. I think I mixed it up with Blanche's Dream. I was like, is this the episode with Blanche's Dream? But no, this is just this has a wild storyline that, in all honesty, I can't believe they even titled the episode The Commitments.
Yeah,
I mean, I get that it's a double meaning, but it's like, if you don't think about it too much, it's like the Dorothy storyline is so nuts and such a like. It's kind of a B story.
Even the Blanche story, it is a B story. Blanche or Rose.
The Blanche story is also bananas.
Is also bananas. Well, okay, so like after watching this episode for us to do this, it got me thinking, what was going on in the world at this? Was the rest of the world bananas when this episode aired on January 25th, 1992? And you're gonna be blown away by what I found. You're gonna be blown away.
Wow, 92.
So, the number one movie in America on January 25th, 1992 was Hook, which arguably is a bananas portrait of the Peter Pan story. So there's that. The number one song in America on this date was All for Love's Color Me Bad. Or Color Bad.
Color Me Bad.
Color Me Bad, right?
Color Me Bad was the band.
Okay, then All for Love is the song. I don't know music. I don't know music. And then the number one, but yeah, so that's like hip hop R&B, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yes.
hip hop.
Well, so then conversely, the number one album in the country was Nirvana's Nevermind.
Oh, wow. That's a moment.
What happened the day after this aired? So this aired, I believe, on Saturday, January 25th, 1992. Sure. And what happened on January 26th, 1992?
The inauguration?
No. Bill and Hillary Clinton appeared on 60 Minutes to address rumors about a past affair that Bill had, and Hillary gave that famous line of, I'm not Tammy Wynette standing by my man.
Right.
And it sent the world into a tizzy. I mean, so much crazy shit.
It wasn't the inauguration because the election was later that year.
No. Yeah, this was the start of the primaries for the Democratic primary.
Right.
And that was when Bill and all the rumors around Bill. So he hadn't even cinched the nomination at this point.
Oh,
so
wow.
like, there was a lot of crazy shit going on in the world when this episode aired, and I kind of think it makes more sense if you think about everything else that was going on in the world.
Yeah, I feel like, at that point I was 9, but I can remember like it being, I think the Kuwait War, maybe.
Oh no, that was over. Sorry to give you a history lesson.
Yeah,
but
please.
that was over at that point.
Okay.
That was like Bush had done that, I think, in 90 or 91.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that was kind of, so this was like full on re-election time. Like this is when, things were, Sister Act was about to come out. Batman Returns was about to come out. A League of Their Own was about to come out. Like big things were happening in the world. Fleetwood Mac was about to make a comeback because of Bill Clinton. Like things were happening in the world.
Yeah.
Barbra Streisand was really excited about Bill. Barbra Streisand's The Prince of Tides had come out the year before. She was in 1991. She was about to be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture, but to be snubbed for Best Director for The Prince of Tides. Things were happening.
Right. It was I guess, it's so weird to think about chaotic times in comparison to what we live through now.
Well, sure. Yes, of course. So wait, I do want to know, what is your history with the Beatles?
Well, I'm a Beatles fan. And in our house, like my parents were huge Beatles fans. So we grew up very much listening to the Beatles. My dad was a Paul guy, and my mom loved George and had a big crush on George that my dad was jealous of because he was like the quiet quiet one.
George really was the hottest one.
Oh, I actually think that would be Ringo.
You think Ringo is the hottest? Knowing you as well as I do, that makes sense.
He's the most in his youth, he was like the cutest, cartoony, goofy looking one.
I will say for anyone listening to this, and who you obviously know that Eliot and I's friendship goes back a long time, and I can say this, that Eliot's type is someone who has a problem. There's got to be something off. They got to be missing a tooth.
It's
they
not
got
a
to have
problem. It's
it makes them
feature.
Exactly. So if someone has something that makes them a little funky, that's Eliot's type.
And Ringo has those, like, he's like a little cross-eyed. Is like that. That's what it is. Like a little cross-eyed with a kind of a bulb. He was so cute. But anyway, my mom loved George.
I'm all about George. And I remember seeing the John Lennon, Yoko Ono. I guess this was after the Beatles.
The Rolling Stone cover
when they were naked or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I remember thinking, I guess what they say about British men is true.
Well, you couldn't see his penis.
On the album cover, there was that one. Not on the album. Like there's one where you can see his penis. Yes.
I mean, I'm thinking of the Rolling Stone cover where he's
Oh, I don't know about that.
Can't see his penis.
Well, I'm thinking of one where I could see his penis because I saw his penis and I remember being like, "Oh, I was hoping for more."
John Lennon was kind of a dick, like a creative genius, but a wife beater and not great.
I'm sure they all were dicks at the time.
No.
Yes.
Paul is.
I heard Paul was a dick.
I don't think so. Paul's an angel.
I mean, an angel, that's taking it too far. Do you know the man personally?
No, I just know that George was the soft, silent, the sweet, quiet one, which my mom gravitated toward. But also, if you take a step back and look at their collective or their separate contributions to music, like Ringo, Paul, John, and George. George made the stuff that wasn't the most popular, but was just so deep. It was so deep and sorrowful and heavy and beautiful. He was like the emo one, basically.
So which one, because I don't think they established this in the episode, which one, because Dorothy is, of course, the biggest fan of the Beatles in this episode. Which Beatle is her Beatle, do you think?
God, that's a good question. I think it's George.
See, I think she's gonna go. I think she's gonna do she's gonna take a lesson from you and go with Ringo. I think she actually likes Ringo.
No. Wait, sorry. You mean the guy that she dates in the episode?
No. I mean, because is it ever established what role he plays in Beatlemania? I don't believe it is.
But he has a mustache, right?
Didn't they all?
I can't. It's hard to. I don't know. I'm getting it lost in my head. But I think you mean Dorothy, who she would go for?
Yeah. If Dorothy? Because if we can, I mean, say which character or which Beatle would Dorothy have the hots for?
Dorothy would have the hots for John.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, Ringo's too small and he's a little like mousy and weird. Like Dorothy would want. I think Dorothy would want to go tete-a-tete with John.
I think Dorothy kind of gets off on Ringo being small.
We never saw her date a small guy.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. In a dream sequence with Sonny Bono. Sonny Bono was shorter than B. Arthur, and they had it hot and heavy.
They did. Get off my Lanai, Sonny Bono.
Yeah, so I'm just saying. She has, and then also the guy with pheromones, much shorter than Dorothy. Remember?
Buzz.
Yeah, much shorter than Dorothy.
Buzz, yeah.
Also
they all love Buzz, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I just think in terms of like, she would not be into George. George was, maybe
George is too quiet. George is too quiet. I don't think George is going to go with Dorothy.
Ringo was also kind of quieter too. I think she would have gone for John because John was, he was the sort of loudmouth of the group. He was the most, I would say, outspoken and also the most political.
See, I would think that would be competition for Dorothy, and she's going to want someone that she can like whip around.
No, Dorothy was so political and intellectual minded that I think if not John, then maybe George. But I think she would go for John.
Interesting. Well, should we get into this episode because I have things to say? We'll get into it right after this break. And we are back. Okay, so this episode starts with the girls are all in the kitchen, and Dorothy
I love that there's silence.
There's silence, and there's actually silence for like a good amount of time before Dorothy comes in. Yeah. And Dorothy has this thing. She has a favor to ask Blanche, but she doesn't want them to laugh. And she says a line that I've never heard this word before. Not even a titter?
Oh, yeah. She's not even a titter. Like, not even like it's like a titter's like a very small giggle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or like you're saying like somebody is a titter. It's like they're giggling.
I've never heard the word titter before. Not in that way. I mean, I've heard like I've said it about my titters. You know what I mean?
Right, your titters. Your big titters.
My big titters. But I've never heard, but she was like not even a titter. So she has to ask Blanche to go on a date or a blind date. She has a blind date with a man coming over because she can't go on it anymore because she won tickets on the radio for Beatlemania.
I mean, by the way, like I have to say, like, there's something so nostalgic to me, and I know it's going to make me sound elderly.
Yeah.
But like, there's something so nostalgic to the idea of being like, I won tickets on the radio.
I know.
Like, I'm just like, oh, I kind of miss that. I mean, I guess you can still do that now, but it's like
it's not the same.
The radio. Who listens to the radio?
Yeah, you're winning. You have to leave comments on captions on Instagram to win shit these days. Yeah,
it's not so innocent.
Yeah, well, let's play a little clip of Dorothy explaining this situation.
You're giving up a date for Beatlemania?
Oh, Rose, the Beatles were the first and only rock and roll group that I ever really loved. When they came to Shea Stadium, I managed to get a ticket, but one of my kids came down with the flu. It was one of those times when you have to pretend that you love your kids more than something you really want to do.
Yeah, I remember that.
So the thing that got me with this is, and I'm not a CSI Golden Girls person. I'm not one of those people. I mean,
but I know what you're going to say.
There's something about the era, because Beatles Mania, I checked, it said it was 1963 to 66, like in that mid 60s range.
Yes.
And now, I mean, it's 1992 within, so, I mean,
she is not the correct generation to be
I don't
a Beatles
believe
fanatic.
she is. Even if we're looking at the age in which Dorothy Sporneck is, which is younger than B. Arthur.
Yes.
It's still
aged two up.
I was trying to think what the modern day comparison would be. Like, what's a big band today? What's a band that people go crazy for today? Or like people or someone?
I feel like normies love like Imagine Dragons or something.
I was going to say Benson Boone. Like, let's say a Benson Boone and one of our friends who was, let's say Kara Klink. We love her. She's a mom. She has small kids around the age that Dorothy would be when she was doing Beatlemania, or at least supposedly what Dorothy's.
Wait, you know, Beatlemania is like a tribute concert.
No, I know, but she was talking in the clip about the era in which Beatlemania was going on, when Beatlemania was happening, which was in the mid 60s.
Yes.
And so Kara has small children now. It would be like Kara trying to drop her kids off so that she could go to the Benson Boone concert.
Yeah, it doesn't really line up. And
it doesn't.
It's like, I mean, the Beatles are proto-boomers. Like, that is that is the boomer generation. Like,
well, because I mean, they would have been like, I mean, the boomer generation, I think, technically started in 1945, 46. Okay. So and it went into the 50s. So it makes sense that like teens would be teens and very young adults would be crazy into the Beatles.
Of course. But I think it's weird that they it's odd that they kind of, I mean, it's, you know what's so funny about it? It's like, you think about Dorothy and it's like, on one hand, she's apparently in love with the Beatles, but on the other hand, she's looking for Glenn Miller.
Yeah.
Of the Glenn Miller Orchestra. And that's like,
the other thing too. I mean, she was like
the greatest generation folks. Like, that's old school.
Even going back to her, even though Frank Sinatra was in the 60s, her going back to trying to win tickets for Frank Sinatra and like that whole thing. Remember
Sinatra
that?
Or Tony Bennett?
Or Tony Bennett. Tony Bennett, yes. Tony Bennett, I mean, that's also 60s, I suppose. But like, I want to know what Dorothy Sporneck was like at home in the 1960s, because she has an eclectic taste in music.
Yeah, there's just no, I mean, whatever. There's no world in which, you know what actually spells it all out? And this is sort of like, I don't know how intentional this was, but even the clip that we played early on of her singing She Loves You.
Yeah.
The way she's singing it is like B. Arthur Broadway talk singing. And it's like, that is not how the song sounds. And B, that is not how anybody intended for the song to sound.
Yeah.
And it's literally not Dorothy. It is B's interpretation that shows you that she is not a Beatles fan.
Totally. And I was thinking watching it, oh my God, what I would have died to hear do a B. Arthur cover album of Beatles songs.
Also, it's like, she loves you, yeah, yeah. And it's like, that's how you hear it. She loves you, yeah. It's rock and roll. Dorothy's like, she loves you, yeah, yeah. Like, it's all off. It's syncopated wrong. It's so harsh.
It's syncopated, Eliot.
It's syncopated wrong. It's like,
Elliot.
It's music.
No one talks like that about music that are listening to this podcast. Yes, for people who make music.
Yes. It's so her. And so, and also, it's so gay.
It is so gay, which makes it. I mean, it made me want to hear B. Arthur sing like,
absolutely,
blackbirds sitting in the dead of night. You know what I mean? Like, it just like I can hear it.
You never really got her like, you know. I feel like Gen X had their William Shatner moment, and then I think he made like a cover album in the 90s. some 90s or aughts where he covered rock
It's like a
and
slow
roll.
jam. Yeah.
And it was like very like tongue-in-cheek, Ben Foldsy.
Yeah.
And I feel like
Ben
B. Arthur
Foldsy.
really missed that
Yeah.
opportunity.
But she also would not have cared about like striking on that opportunity.
No.
Because if it would have taken her out of her home, she wasn't doing it.
No, but God, you're right. I would have loved to hear her sing like Black Velvet.
Yeah. Yes. So Blanche agrees to go on this blind date with this man. She just thinks, whatever, this isn't going to be someone great. And then Jerry
arrives.
Played by Ken Howard. If you Google, I'll post a picture of Ken right now on the podcast, but if you Google Ken Howard, back in the day, the actor who played Jerry, he's hot.
Okay.
Ken Howard could hit it. Like, Ken Howard had it.
Hold on.
Are you pulling it up?
I have to.
Yes,
Ken
he's a
Howard.
two-time Emmy winner. He made appearances on. I mean, he won an Emmy for.
Wow.
Exactly. The Grey Gardens TV movie.
Wow,
he also was on an
handsome.
episode of The Office as well.
Yes, he was. That's why he looked so familiar.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff. He's also in a great film that I love called In Her Shoes. It's a wonderful film. He plays the dad. But Ken Howard could get it back in the day. Hot. Very hot.
Yeah. I also think but I mean, let's be real. When he comes to the door and Blanche loses her mind and then the girls lose their mind, am I crazy? Like, he looks like a regular perfectly lovely man. They all get soaking wet.
Well, yeah. Well, no, they don't. Let's be real. but
maybe Blanche does. I mean,
artificially wet.
Artificially.
But
are you saying that after menopause women get somehow artificially wet?
I mean, I don't understand what really goes on, but I have a feeling it's not as moist as it previously was.
I know, but that's what happens.
I watch it and just like that. I know things. But they do go crazy for him, and I get it because he is. Yeah, he is. He does have that kind of that vibe to him that he's so tall and handsome, and who cares if he looks like a kindergarten teacher at this moment? Like, he's just such a man.
I don't think he's not handsome. I can't believe I can't really believe that we're supposed to be like agog for this man.
you understand why Blanche is like, because I mean, anyone who's tall and like that handsome, she's gonna go crazy for. But then the weirdest one is probably Sophia going crazy for him. But like, I get why Rose does too, because Rose would get off on his hominess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His homeliness. Like,
he's very
not
homely, like naivete.
Well, but he looked relaxed, and he's very like homely is
like describing like somebody who's kind of like a nebbish.
Well, but he is kind of in a way in that like he's not dressed up in this moment. He's looking like he could potentially go into the garden and do some work. Like like he does very much. And there's a homeliness to that's comforting, I think, for someone like Rose. So Sophia's the one that's a little bit whatever. But Blanche goes on this date, and the next morning we learn something about Mr. Jerry that Blanche is not having. I have the clip. Hold on, let me play the clip.
Morning, Blanche. How was your date last night?
How was my date last night? I woke up alone. That's how my date was last night. He didn't open my car door. He did not escort me into the restaurant, didn't pull out my chair. And then when the check came, he made me pay half the bill. What did I ever do to deserve that?
Sounds to me like you put out before dinner again.
I love when Rose has a sexual one-liner. You know what I mean?
And I love it because it's not meant to be a barb.
No.
It's delivered with concern.
Yeah.
And that is so funny.
It's so funny.
It's not meant at all to be a read. It's just a concerned friend saying, the way she says it, oh no, it sounds like you put out before dinner again. Like, hilarious. Also, I have to say, this is very like inside baseball, but obviously we watch this streaming, or it could be watched on DVDs at this point, but when they used to play this in reruns, they would cut out this part from the rerun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so it was always confusing because the like wherever they would pick up from with this story with Blanche, there was no explanation as to why she was upset with Jerry and didn't want to see him again. So it was very odd where it's like, well, why does she dislike him? And this really obviously helps fill in the story. But back then it was like a little confusing. Like, well, what happened?
I wonder why they decided to cut this moment. I mean, there's other parts of this episode they could easily cut.
Oh, there's a lot of God, it's been so long since I've been in a writer's room, but I think we used to say burgers.
Oh, well, yes. There's a lot of burgers that need to be thrown out with this one. I mean, it's not I want to preface this by saying, like, it's easy for us to make fun of this episode because it's not like a stellar episode, but it's still an episode that I love.
I love it.
Very much.
I love it so much.
It is so good. So in just a minute, we have this moment where Dorothy, she comes out in a robe.
Yeah,
singing the yeah.
She in a robe or a nightgown?
Like a night. Well, she's like a nightgown robe situation because like there's some. She would never come out just in a nightgown. She always has a protective robe over her.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, there's no way Dorothy's coming out in anything else. And then we see Don come out, who's played by Terry Kaiser and has potentially. I don't know if he actually was British, but the accent wasn't great.
No, it's not very good.
No, it's not. But B. Arthur is just so giddy in this moment. I mean,
and the best thing about the Golden Girls, specifically with her, is that she either goes to sleep and emerges in the morning looking beat. Her face is beat.
Yeah.
The wig, the hair is like up. It's like she's been to the beauty parlor.
Yeah.
Hours beforehand. Like she's been in hair and makeup. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah. I mean, she is quite literally she's fully done up, obviously, but she is like sexual afterglow. B. Arthur. The artificial moisture worked, and she had a good time with her imaginary George, if you will.
Right.
If you will. And there's a moment too, I believe, because I could be confusing with the placement of this episode, but there's a moment where she comes through again with Don, and Jerry's back at the house.
Right.
Now. Jerry's explaining basically why he is so awkward to Blanche, why things are just kind of weird with Blanche, and that's because he's a widow, and he's just he was with his wife since they were high school sweethearts, and he doesn't really know how to navigate the modern ways.
It's the 90s. It's like the 90s it's very new. It's very different. And the idea of women wanting to be paid, not to go Dutch or to pay their own way, as he says, it's all very fresh and new. And it's as silly as this episode is, and as goofy as this story is, like, I love it. I don't know. It's like sweet and real and lovely.
Yeah. There's something really kind of nice about this moment in particular, I think, and that there's also a funny moment. I have a clip too where Blanche basically explains to Jerry what she wants out of a man. So let me play that clip real quick.
Now let me clear up any confusion you might have. I don't want to be treated as your equal.
You don't?
I want to be treated a lot better than you. I mean, really, like a goddess who likes to go bar hopping.
I mean, it's just
like a goddess.
It's just so Blanche in that, like,
so good.
She's so vain, she's so self-involved that even in a moment where someone didn't put out and that she's having to play the dominant one here, she's still like, I want to be treated like a queen.
A goddess.
I want to be treated like a goddess. I want to be held and not be judged for everything I've done. And then there's a great moment where Jerry and her have that little thing, and then Dorothy and Don come out doing She Loves You. That's the only song I think they got approval to sing.
I think so. Yeah.
Because, like, it's the only one. She does it a few times in this episode. And
I feel like in all honesty, I feel like that was, whether or not that was the only one they could get the rights to just even sing, it feels to me like it's the one that B was like, I can do that. She loves you. Yeah. It's like, she can interpret it in her
I can jazz it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, so Don and Dorothy come out doing that, and then Blanche has a really funny line where we learn, because because of the structure of this episode, you forget that, like, Jerry doesn't know Dorothy. Jerry doesn't understand this weird woman who's coming out in a nightgown, still in her nightgown, singing "She Loves You, Yeah, Yeah, Yeah," and then Blanche goes, "That's Dorothy. Really dodged a bullet, didn't you?" It's just, and then Ken Howard's face as Jerry in that moment was actually kind of great.
Very funny, where he's like, "Oof, I guess I did."
Oof. Oof. Well,
I guess you're right.
On that, we need to take a break, but we're going to come back because it turns out Dorothy is a muse. We're going to be back. And we are back, and Dorothy has a way with this man, this Don man in the Beatles thing, because Dorothy somehow convinced, or maybe Don did it, I don't know, to break up the Beatles cover band that Don was a part of. And Sophia, rightfully so, calls Dorothy the Yoko of this cover band.
Wait, she convinces him to...
Well, she didn't convince him, but she inspired him because he's so talented and all these different things.
Yes, it's truly Yoko and John.
Yes, exactly, which is like kind of hilarious. Very funny. Dorothy is the Yoko.
Very funny to me.
I mean, it's and Dorothy. This happens a few times in the episode when Dorothy comes home, but in this one she comes in and she's all like, and she puts her purse down gently on the counter.
So
and
good.
She's just, oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm a muse. You know what I mean? Like she's just so into it.
I love it.
There's another moment that we learn later on when we learn that Dawn is actually not talented at all.
Of course.
And she's mortified, and she comes in and she like slams her purse down on the counter.
Had it been what is the line? Had it been a something, they would have.
Yeah.
It starts in that vernacular where you're like, Dorothy's getting like philosophical here.
But there's the direction of the episode that I just have to believe that was a director's note in that, like, how she did the purse on the counter every time she came in, because I noticed it. I noticed how funny, how much of a juxtaposition it was to the first one to the second one, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
So good. So good. So Dorothy is breaking up this cover band, this Beatles cover band. And meanwhile, Blanche comes home and Jerry is still not putting out, even after Dorothy, or even after Blanche told him, it's okay. You know, stick a finger in it. Like, it's fine.
Have we gone to the hotel yet?
No, we're not at the hotel yet.
Okay.
This is when Blanche comes home and Jerry still has not touched her. They've
Right.
gone on multiple dates now.
Yes.
And she comes in and she's like, can I ask a serious question? Am I ugly?
I have to say, this is literally one of the funniest moments to me in the entirety of all the Golden Girls.
Wow.
And you know that I can be tough on Estelle Getty for some of her miscues and slow, whatever. I mean, I adore her nonetheless. This is one of, like, I would say one of the top 5 deliveries in the entire.
Her timing is perfect.
Am I ugly? Yes. Be honest. Am I ugly? Yes. It's so fun.
And then Blanche goes, now you cut it out, you old worm woman.
Does she say, am I fat?
I don't know about that, but like she does. She's saying these things because she's vulnerable now because Jerry's still
funny. Is there just something just unredeeming and ugly about? Yes.
And but she also really likes him. And then she says something like, he won't touch me.
Not a touch.
And that she worries that she's lost her sex appeal.
Yeah, it's real.
Which if there's anything that is like crumbling for Blanche, it would be losing her sex appeal.
Of course, yes.
And it's a storyline that we've seen multiple times over with the pacemaker episode, with the menopause episode. Like, we've seen it time and time again.
Yes.
Blanche's character is a perfect character to use as sort of like a, how to find your self-esteem despite adversity.
Correct.
with personal reflection of how you look or who you are to the world. And she's really struggling here because she likes him, She does. She likes Jerry.
And yeah, she's like lost her superpower. She thinks.
Yeah, so she thinks, but it turns out to be something else. What do you do? Because, I mean, they talk about this in the kitchen table scene. What do you do when you need a boost of self-esteem?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I'm the wrong person to ask because I avoid the mirror,
Yeah, you do. Even when we're recording, you don't want to look at yourself. You try to like minimize the video, which is, I think people can relate to it.
Yeah, I don't, a boost of confidence. I mean, honestly, it's like, oof, that's a great question.
Like something small that you do. I'll start, you think of it and I'll share what I do. So one of the things that I do that is also like very relaxing and therapeutic for me is I do my nails. I find doing my nails, having manicured nails, coloring them, all of those things, it not only brings a boost to my self-confidence and my appearance and how I look, but also it's just very therapeutic for me. It's very comforting.
Yeah. I guess for me, like I could say that on the whole, it's my adoption of short shorts in the past year.
Oh yeah, and even though you won't call it a crop top.
I'll call. They're not. It's not like a full crop.
It's a crop top, Eliot.
I'm not. It doesn't end at my nipples. It's like shirts that are like muscle shirts.
Crop top does not have to end at your nipples to be a crop top. If it is
just
cropped,
a little.
If it's above the waist, it's a crop top.
It hits that's the thing. It's an adoption of short shorts and a crop or a semi crop that I've taken in the past year, where my style has really pushed toward 80s camp counselor, and I'm okay with it. Like, no, that's what it is. It's like a camp counselor in the late 70s, early 80s. It's
what is it about the short shorts that makes you love them so much?
I get compliments, and I feel like I think I look good in them, and I get enough compliments that I'm like, okay, this is where I'm feeling good in this, getting that positive feedback.
You just recently had a birthday. Everyone say happy birthday to Eliot. This is the audience. Happy birthday, Eliot. We were at a roller skating rink. You got me to do one lap.
I did indeed. I love that you paid for rentals to do one lap like a
Money
grandma.
is no issue when it comes to Mr. Eliot Glazer and the celebration of Eliot Glazer. But yeah, I did one lap and then I was done. But you were in short shorts.
Yeah.
And there's a very funny picture of you, our friend Megan, and I'm in the background looking. I still want to see that picture, but you were in short shorts in that picture, and it's a perfect picture. It's a great picture.
I discovered a brand. Well, of course, Instagram suggested a brand to me called Hammies.
Okay.
That are they are exactly what I've wanted. They are far too overpriced, but they are
how much are they?
$80 a piece.
Oh, I get it. My pants, my jeans, I wear good American jeans often, and they're in the 100 to 150 range.
That seems fair for full jeans, though.
I mean, if it's a good pair of clothing, I don't judge people's spending habits. You know what I mean? I paid $60 for a concealer, so like, trust me, I get it. Like,
I don't know.
If it's worth it, it's worth it.
I bought two, but I love them. They are short shorts, like 80s corduroy. I love them so much. They look great. They feel great. And that's what I wore. That's clearly what I wore for, it's a little 70s themed for me.
It works for you.
It works.
Yeah. And if it boosts your self-esteem,
it makes me feel good.
Exactly. Get the compliments,
for
show
sure.
a dick. So also, speaking of someone who's in need of a confidence boost, Blanche decides that she knows exactly what she needs to do. She needs to bring Jerry to the tiki room.
Oh my God.
And she literally rents out a room at this hotel with Jerry, and it's like Disneyland's tiki room, in the tiki room. She wants it for some hanky. But what I love about this scene, it's a perfect Blanche seduction scene.
Yes.
And it kind of, some things go wrong because, Ken Howard is fantastic acting in this episode and in this scene in particular. And what I like about Ken in this scene is Ken is an attractive, middle-aged, older actor at this point, and he's probably not done a lot of comedy. It seems like his background is pretty much in like those masculine, male-driven shows.
Yes.
And even looking at his resume, that's what he's in Rambo, for fuck's sake.
I believe
so,
that.
He is a man, and to see him like doing this thing where he's like sitting on a vibrating bed and he's like, whoa, it makes me like him even more.
Did I make up the fact that is the bed circular?
No, the bed's not. I don't believe the bed's circular. I don't think it is. But what in this episode or in this scene, one thing that did stand out to me is the colossally large remote control.
Oh my God. Incredible.
Isn't that incredible?
It's incredible.
This remote control is just like insane.
But it makes sense for the time. They were big.
Well, so I want to play the clip, and if you want to see the remote control, I mean, obviously go watch this episode, but you can also watch us on the YouTube or the Patreon or whatever. But here's the scene of Blanche pulling one on Jerry.
You know what goes great with champagne? Me.
We seem to be missing a chair, Blanche.
Oh, yeah, so we are. Well, let's see what I can do to fix it. Fixed it.
So,
oh my God.
I mean, Blanche, if this was shot in this day and age,
yeah,
with the conversations around consent and conversations and everything,
Blanche would be in jail.
Blanche would fully be in jail because she is not listening to Jerry. But also, I'm kind of it does feel a little bit like Jerry is stringing Blanche along, because Blanche has made herself very known. You know,
yes,
she's made it very clear that she is direct. She knows she said what she wants. She said what she wants out of a man.
Yeah.
And Jerry cannot give that to her. He's not giving that to her. And I do think the onus is on Jerry to back off this relationship with Blanche.
Yes.
And he seems to keep feeding it, which is then just teasing her.
Yes, but ultimately, I also see why someone like Jerry would really struggle here and try. And then and honestly, like, we'll get there obviously, but the last scene is so sweet for the very reason. I mean, I can say now, like, in that final scene when Blanche agrees to being just friends.
Yeah,
it's like such a sweet moment.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it kind of takes the onus off. It kind of gives Jerry the reprieve, because it's like he's really taken the time. Yes, he's kind of strung Blanche along, but because he needed to really build up the ability to actually explain himself.
I have more on that. We'll get to that very last scene. But in this moment, Jerry is not happy. Jerry's very uncomfortable. He's not happy with how forward Blanche is being. I think Blanche is, I mean, because this is their fifth date, I think we learned.
Fifth.
So this is their fifth date. And we learn in the last scene that this is their fifth date.
Oh, wow.
And
you're right, he is stringing her along.
And exactly. Thank you. And so if they've had this much time together and he's not as much kissed her on the fifth date, then I'm sorry, Jerry is a tease. So
right. Which goes back to, it's so funny because this is the fifth date, and then earlier on we see Rose say, "Did you put out before?"
Yeah.
You put out before dinner again, didn't you? You put out before dinner.
Which makes me wonder how how do you, like, I'm a pretty forward person sexually. You know what I mean? Like, everyone knows this about me. Like, I'm very much the let me see your dick person. But so I'm very Blanche in that respect. That said, I don't know how you do that. I don't know.
It's so funny. She's just so she's so depraved.
But it also practically makes sense too, because like, it's fun to eat after sex.
It really is. It's so fun.
If you can get the sex out of the way, and then go to Outback,
absolutely,
it's perfect.
Especially for, I mean, I can't speak for women, but like gay men.
Yes. And you know, some women are doing that too.
That's true, but I don't want to put the onus on them. I'm just saying,
some people enjoy a certain activity that requires a digestion. So I also love in this scene, Blanche does like a little dance, and then she's like, "Oh no, a mirror!"
I know.
Like, I mean, it's just there are so many perfect Blanche moments that are just, that to a Golden Girls fan just like gives you everything.
The mirror comes. There's a mirror.
There's a mirror on the ceiling,
and there's an acrobat swing.
It comes down too, and it's just
for acrobatics.
Like you can hold on. It's just so perfect. Okay, so we're back at the house now. Dorothy comes in again. This time she's angry because Don has made a fool of himself. Somehow he went from singing some song to ending with ...
What a gal I got.
But then she ends with kung fu fighting.
Oh, I know. Well, he ended with kung fu. ended with Kung Fu Fighting, which is obviously like a goofy novelty song. I have to say, this scene is wild because it really delves into. I mean, B is so good in, of course.
Yeah.
But it's like it's that weird moment that happens every now and then in the Golden Girls that I also feel like you, me, Alaska, and Kerri find so delightful, which is when Dorothy's dialogue sort of ascends into like Old English to it.
Yeah.
Like, she speaks in like a weird cadence, or
Yes.
it almost sounds like the syntax is like at a higher level. And she's like, dot, 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 what a gal I got. But she even says like, had he done this, it would have been a right. I don't even know the line.
Yeah.
But it's like she's speaking like Old English, and it's so weird.
And it's so perfect.
Even when she says, I love this, like using this dialogue to like wrap up a scene. Is it possible that I might have XYZ, projected my love for the Beatles onto this one man? It's like she's just saying exactly what happened, but it's so collegiate.
Yeah. It also feels like, because there's a whole other scene that happens, and the rest of this episode is basically just Blanche, Jerry, and a small moment with Rose, and that's it. So like, this is the moment where Dorothy and Sophia are like, okay, we're done.
It's amazing. We're done. We're out.
They're done. We did our Beatles thing and we're gone.
It's so good.
it's just, you could tell, because I mean, the series is ending very soon in this point in the timeline of the show. So Dorothy, B. Arthur's probably a bit like, just give me the fucking Beatles thing. Let's go. Right. Let's do this.
What's the final? I'm trying to remember where the button of that scene was, where in the kitchen. Oh,
I forget exactly. But I mean, Blanche, we cut to Blanche and Jerry
in the living room.
Yes. And it's actually this scene, this last scene between Blanche and Jerry, I'm so confused by, because to me, this relationship has largely been comical.
Yes.
For the most part, to me. I mean, we just left a scene where there's a mirror on the ceiling and an acrobat thing comes down from the ceiling. So like, and she has a big comically large remote.
I'm gonna fuck you. She's like, I'm gonna fuck you in the air. Basically, is what she's saying. And so, it's a funny scene. And then in this scene, Jerry is basically, she's upset because she talks about the 5 dates and how they haven't even kissed. And Jerry's like appalled that she would even think that he would kiss her before 5 dates, because again, he prefaces by saying the things with his wife and the high school sweethearts and the slowness and all the things, and he talks about how sweet the first kiss is. And I mean, well, by the way, oh sorry, no, go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
When he starts saying it, and he's really good.
Yeah, oh, he's great.
He's really
acting
good.
is great.
And I love how tender this scene is.
But I don't love how it's presented to be a special, serious moment. They have this. They have the serious music, the slow piano music.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, and it's like this weird moment where I think this music played in the one episode where like Blanche's dead husband was like in the thing. Another one where someone died.
Room 4 with the grandmother.
Like serious episodes.
Yes.
End with this music, and I don't feel like Jerry is serious, because Jerry is a cock tease.
Yeah, but this is where he's really getting vulnerable for real.
But he's not, though, because he does this whole thing where he grabs her face and actually, I'm going to play the scene because I have the scene right quick. I'm going to play it real quick. Hold on.
To me, a first kiss is still the sexiest thing in the world.
Get out of here.
Really? Well, the way I look at it, anyone can just jump into bed together. Me, I believe in romance. And that can start with something as simple as the sensitive stroking of someone's hair, to the delicate caress of one's cheek, all leading up to one warm, long, beautiful. Anyway, that's what romance means to me.
And I get it. That's funny. I get that that's funny. Like, I understand that that's a funny bit, but then it becomes this like sweet, the slow music, the sad music starts. They finally kiss, and then he leaves. And instead of it being like, I wanted a funny button on all of that. I wanted something when Rose comes out there's a moment where Jerry has a thing and she's feeling all like, oh, you know,
she's so into it.
So into it on a level that I don't believe. Like, that's how crazy this episode is, that I'm not believing this moment because I'm wanting something funny to happen.
And I mean, by the way, the joke is like the funniest part about it is that when Rose comes out and she's like, how did it go with Jerry? And she's like, he wants to take things slow. It's like an old-fashioned romance. And Rose goes, take things slow, an old-fashioned romance. Well, how do you feel? How does that make you feel? Like a lady.
The sad music is playing over this.
But the sad music is playing, and the funniest thing is we never see him again.
Never, ever. Which I get in the era of the situation comedy. I understand why we never see him again.
They're making such a point about Blanche taking a chance on a slow.
It reminds me when Miles left. It reminds me when Miles had the witness protection thing and then had to run away because he was Amish or whatever. I don't know what the fuck that happened in that episode either. But the sad music happened when she was like, and then he's gone.
Yeah, she's reading the book.
Exactly.
Book of poetry. Yeah,
exactly. And sad music, and it's just like, this wasn't sad to me. Jerry is a cock tease.
Yeah, I think I would be less annoyed. I mean, I'm not annoyed. I just think it's so funny that she has this big sentimental turn where she's just so taken with the idea of romance. Then we never never see him again, never hear of him again. God only knows what she's doing in the next episode. Like, that is so funny. But it's serialized, but not really.
Not really. But what I do love also about this is, so after she says, like a lady, and she almost touches Rose to be like, isn't that sweet? But then she doesn't. And then she goes to her room, and then Rose does a moment. So the credits come on, Terry Grossman's name comes on, or whoever was that person in the credit, and then you see her, and everyone watching can see me do this, but you see her in the moment sit back in the chair and be like, oh, that's so cute. It's like, oh.
No, that's not what she's doing.
Yes, she leans back into the chair and she kind of does like a smile thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, to me, it's like she's doing like like she's tickled by it.
Yeah, she thinks it's sweet. She thinks it's nice and everything.
I love that.
I wanted a joke. I wanted her to be like, but did he have sex with you yet? Like, I wanted some Rose line to end on, and I didn't need the sweetness.
She could have just been like, that sounds lovely. Are you gonna go to the Rusty Anchor?
Yeah, or something.
Are you going down to the docks?
Yes, exactly.
So you're going to the docks, huh?
That to me would have been a better end to this episode than having the seriousness of like a lady. You know?
I guess we need to see a little, flourishing in Blanche's story and character a little bit here and there.
Yes, of course we do, and I'm all for that if it warrants it. But Jerry was a cock tease.
Does she say to him? Doesn't she say, we should be friends? Like, let's
something
be friends?
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that already starts where you're like, that's a little unrealistic for Blanche. To me,
because she starts the episode so vain, being like, I want you to treat me like a goddess.
Right. But to me, it makes me think of the episode with that god-awful pharmacist, Bill the pharmacist.
Yeah. Also, someone who Blanche would never be attracted to.
Never. Yeah. But I love how at the end of the episode, they decide that they've been moving too fast because, he just got back.
He has to go off to some war that I don't know what war it was.
God only knows. And also he's like beyond retired.
Yeah.
But the best part is that she says, like, they come to this like sweet romantic decision to like take things slow, and she goes, and we can still see other people.
That's what
she's like. So we can fuck. So I can fuck.
But that's
people?
what I wanted. That's what I wanted from this. That's exactly what I wanted.
Exactly.
Anyway,
you don't get it.
Okay. Well, fantastic episode. Obviously, some dogs in your building are also very angry
oh my God,
about
these dogs
about this person of this relationship. I am all for Blanche fucking Jerry, but Jerry is a cock tease.
He is.
We're gonna take a break and come back with our golden takeaways. And we are back with our golden takeaways, which is a nugget of truth or inspiration that you can apply to your life or the lives of our listeners. Now, Eliot, since you haven't been back in a minute, I'll start so that you can think of your golden takeaway. My golden takeaway from this episode is don't be a cock tease. I mean, listen. Would I gladly do a little tickle with Jerry, aka Ken Howard, at pretty much any age? Yes, I would. But if Jerry, aka Ken Howard, aka Hot Man, was being a cock tease to me, I'd probably still stick around just to try to see it.
Sure, just to see it.
But don't do that to most people. It's not cool. It's just not cool.
Well, again, you might want to, he's a widow.
I don't see. I'm sorry. You're putting yourself out there. Don't put. Yes, I understand. I have compassion. That said, if you're putting yourself 5 dates a lot, and if you're putting yourself back out there, the widow thing's just kind of baggage.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
What's yours, Eliot?
My golden takeaway is that it's high time that somebody use AI to create a full album of B. Arthur covers.
Okay.
Of irreverent
I don't want that
rock songs.
I don't want it. I don't want it.
You don't?
No, I don't want it because and I'm glad you brought up AI because there's something happening in the world right now within fandoms, the use of AI to create Golden Girls animated work.
We saw
what are your
one.
feelings? Yeah, we saw one. I mean, and there's some of them are cute. Like there was a Pride one that's going around that's cute, whatever. What do you make of them? Because people send them to me, and I have to admit, I don't love it.
I actually don't think I feel like
I'm not bothered by it, but I don't love it.
No, I don't love it. And the one that I think Kerri sent it, or Alaska, I forget who sent it. No. The one of them at Pride.
I'm fine with that.
It's not that I'm not fine with it. I'm just all AI really does, like all this like AI fan art. It does creep me out.
Yes.
But I also have a sneaking suspicion that people don't love it the way that I feel like there's maybe I don't know if it's the media or it's big tech, that the idea that AI is something that, yes, as of course it's like, is going to be hugely impactful and continue to be really scary with jobs and the workforce. Yeah. But I feel like people are in a way, as tentative about it as you or I are, because that video is funny, for sure. It's definitely funny and weird, but it's creepy. It all creeps me out.
See, that one to me looks so fake and animated that it doesn't necessarily bother me. But there's one that's been going around. I forget exactly, but it's like there's like a waterfall or morphing thing where there was one that started with Betty White through the years, and it's Betty White morphing into different ages of herself over the years. That to me is creepy, and I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the girls morphing into other versions of themselves. And what they do is they upload, I think at least how this works, they upload existing pictures of the girls, and then they tell this AI to do the morphing or whatever it is, and it kind of it makes the picture come to life, if you will, which is effectively cool, sure, but I see it and I'm just like, this is not how I like to appreciate my nostalgia or fandom or love for these girls. I have no problem just going to the picture of Betty White in 1955 and being like, wasn't she very
well, it's
cute?
Really, to me, it feels like you're getting it's a sense of sort of exhuming the dead in a way that just feels somehow, somewhere morally questionable.
Yes, I agree.
And uncanny valley enough that it's like, I don't like this. It doesn't make me feel good. It sort of it unsettles me.
There's something about it that, you're right. Because I find with this podcast, with my Instagram, with everything I do, it is a respectful nod to nostalgia. It's a respectful nod to the things that I love that define me as a person and my outlook on my comedy and my art and who I am and whatever. And I don't try to monopolize it and modernize it in a way that makes it relevant right now, unless it's like a fun, kitschy way where we're like, what would be Arthur to think of Benson Boone? You know what I mean? Like, sure, that is funny to talk about, but I don't want to create an AI image of B. Arthur and Benson Boone on stage together. Do you know what I mean?
I don't want to see it. I guess, well, then scrap my AI idea and let's just have the guy who's been a guest on the podcast, whom I love, Mickey.
Yes. Sing and do the B. Arthur voice.
That's my that is my.
Oh my God!
That's my internet is him doing covers of of Chapel Roan as B. Arthur, I'm like, I'm in. Whatever. He figured that out. He cracked it, and it's my favorite thing. And you know what? Forget AI. Make an album. Let him make an album, and I'll buy it.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be incredible?
I would buy that album with money. I would.
You can actually go buy his book right now. His book just came out, which we'll put a link in this episode show notes to his Instagram and everything, so you all have reference for that. But yeah, well, yes, buy the book, but also I fully support him doing a B. Arthur cover album.
I love it so much. I mean, it really is a discovery to be like, I have an uncannily similar singing voice.
Pink Pony Club.
It's so good. He hits all of it.
It's so good and so perfect.
Maestro.
Eliot Glazer, where can people follow you on the internet and see what you're doing right now? Do you have anything coming up?
No, right now I'm just writing this book that will be out in 2026.
Yes.
And, figuring things out, but,
as you do.
As we do. And you can just follow me at Eliot Glazer on Instagram.
And, you and I have things happening too,
yes,
which is very exciting. So like,
right.
there are things popping in the universe. So yeah, look forward to lots of fun things happening.
Yes.
And of course, you can, thank you guys for listening each and every week. And please go send Kerri your love. And we'll catch you back here in a couple of weeks for more Golden Girls greatness. We're also a part of Mom, Moguls of Media, so go support Mom Plus. And you can follow us on social media at Golden Girls Pod on Twitter, Out on Lanai Official on Instagram, Golden Girls Pod on Facebook, and I am HAlanScott / Sadie Pines on everything. Please leave a little rating and review wherever you're listening to this podcast, because it does help us out a lot. And remember, Eliot, as always, Stay golden. He looked really frightened there for a second. He did. Very frightened there for a second.
Out on the Lanai is not endorsed by Whit Thomas Harris Productions, Touchstone Television, Disney, or any of its subsidiaries. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only.
All names, pictures, audio, and video clips of the Golden Girls are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and/or copyright holders.